Canadians are getting vaccinated right now, it's also important to plan ahead for the future. We've reached an agreement with Pfizer for 35 million booster doses for next year and 30 million in the year after. This deal includes options to add 30 million doses in both 2022 and 2023, and an option for 60 million doses in 2024. Pfizer has been a solid partner for Canada in this fight against COVID-19, and we're happy to be one of the first countries to secure an agreement with them going forward. These boosters will be the latest version of the Pfizer vaccine based on research and testing, and they will help us keep the virus under control. And the work doesn't end there either. We're on ongoing discussions with other vaccine manufacturers about their plans for booster shots.
Foundation is announcing a $13.5 million commitment to counter health misinformation. The Digital Public Library of America is announcing that they will convene a set of librarians, scholars, journalists, and civic leaders to confront health misinformation together. Fourth, we are saying we expect more from our technology companies. We're asking them to operate with greater transparency and accountability. We're asking them to monitor misinformation more closely. We're asking them to consistently take action against misinformation super spreaders on their platforms.
I don't give it. There's a place downtown where the freaks will come around.
Actually need to look at our own data to know that the vaccines are in fact effective. Can I just reassure the community, we don't actually need to look at our own data to know that the vaccines are in fact effective.
Or an authority on what neuroqueer means, but to simplify it and make it easier for you to understand, it's essentially on a base level, it's kind of where your neurodivergent identity and your queer identity, how they interact and intersect. This also extends to your other identities such as your race, your socioeconomic class, your ethnicity, etc., and how those things also interact and intersect with your neurodivergence and your queerness. And some ways that some people may practice being neuroqueer can range from...
What's your message to platforms like Facebook?
They're killing people. I mean, it really... Look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated. And they're killing people.
For Facebook or other platforms to measure and publicly share the impact of misinformation on their platform and the audience it's reaching. Also with the public, with all of you, to create robust enforcement strategies that bridge their properties and provide transparency about rules. You shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others for providing misinformation out.
You COVID cleaner. COVID cleaner. Are you for real? What the fuck? That's something out of fucking... Hey, bruv, do you really have to wear that? Do you really have to wear that? What are you doing? Why are you taking photos? You're not even doing it, you're just doing that for paparazzi. Why are you doing this? You're not even clean. Look, you're taking photos, you're not even doing it, but listen. All you're doing is taking photos. That is all you're doing, is taking photos.
Up-to-date information daily. You can trust us as a source of that information. You can also trust the Director General of Health and the Ministry of Health. For that information, do feel free to visit at any time to clarify any rumour you may hear, covid19.govt.nz. Otherwise, dismiss anything else. We will continue to be your single source of truth. We will provide information frequently. We will share everything we can, everything else you see, a grain of salt. And so I really ask people to focus on
that. The most egregious example of that appears to be this text which originated in Malaysia and has become a viral hoax in Australia and in New Zealand. How irresponsible is it the people that are sharing that news of a lockdown imminent in New Zealand?
Yeah, and look, that's the kind of thing that adds to the anxiety that people feel. So I continue to share the message. New Zealanders must prepare, but do not panic, prepare. And when you see those messages, remember that unless you hear it from us, it is not the truth. And I really ask people, just visit covid19.govt.nz. It has all of the up-to-date information, and we will continue to provide everything you need to know.
Playing this from across the room wants you to hurry up so we can go get food like we planned 45 minutes ago!
Lie with Donald Trump. My loyalties do not lie with the Republican Party. Right. My loyalties and what I'm fighting for is my community, the LGBT community, and particularly the trans issues that are out there, because there are many of them. And so that's where my fight is. And I thought Trump would be pretty good, but
I have a confession. Wow, this is hard for me to tell you. Last night I sucked my husband's dick and he put his balls in my mouth, and by accident now I have a tickle in my throat. I went to the doctor right away and he said it was not COVID but possibly chlamydia, which I have in my throat. So I didn't want to alarm anyone by my tickle in my throat, but my husband has been cheating on me with my brother Tim Tam.
Focused on communicating directly with those people, hence our special guest today, about why it's important to get vaccinated, why these vaccines are safe, why they can still kill you even if you are under the age of 27. We need to be clear and direct about our messaging.
There has been some reporting that the outbreak involving the Vancouver Canucks involved the P1 variant. Can you confirm that that is the case? And if it's true that the P1 is involved here, this is an organization that has been following strict COVID protocols. Should people be worried that the P1 variant is overcoming the guidelines and restrictions that have been put in place, not just with the Canucks, but in many other sectors of our lives, that P1 is breaking through those chains of transmission that we have, or those barriers of transmission we have created?
Yeah, so I'm not aware that any of the cases in the Canucks organization are related to P1. I don't know where that started, but not that I'm aware of. And, you know, it just tells us that once this virus gets hold, it can spread very quickly, despite having routine testing protocols, having protocols to try and protect people as much as possible. And, you know, my heart goes out to the Canucks, and I know Vancouver Coastal is working very closely with
To the weird world of social media, and I have to bring this up because it's a thing. We even get questions. Why do you give Chris Guy the time of day, given that he is a Holocaust denier? And
I am not a Holocaust denier. I have been to the concentration camps. How many of you so-called Holocaust proponents have actually gone to Germany, spent hours on a train, hours more on a bus, and then hours more exploring Sachsenhausen concentration camp? I saw where they kept the Jewish people. I saw where they kept the non-Jewish people. The only thing I've said about the Holocaust is when they tell you 6 million people died, that's a biblical reference, and it's about fulfilling a prophecy for the Jews to come home to their homeland. And they've used that reference multiple times in media well before World War II, going back all the way to the early 1900s. So that is not Holocaust denial. And the only other thing I said about World War II that people try to criticize is, yes, we know Jewish people were persecuted. We know they were killed, and it's horrible. But so were 30 million other people during World War II. So we need to remember everybody. And when I said we need to remember everybody, they're like, oh my God, you're a Holocaust denier. It's like when someone says all lives matter, and then someone screams, oh, that means you mean black lives don't matter. No, that's not what it means at all. So anyway, that's complete bull.
Well, Chris, because the internet is forever, I mean, some of those posts from years ago have been republished. Here's one, quote, 6 million Jews were murdered is the biggest lie created in the history of fake Jew history, end quote.
That is,
why would you say that?
Because 6 million people did not die in the Holocaust. If 6 million,
how many did then?
We have no idea of knowing.
Really?
But for them to claim an exact number when it's completely impossible of knowing, it's completely impossible of knowing. And there's lots of different references, like the World Almanac, that show the population before and after. When Israel was created between 1940.
I've ever reached out to Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Remembrance Center in Jerusalem, who has done incredible decades worth of research. I mean, I've been there several times. I remember a curator once saying when they had the original number, it was 18 million. And then they wanted to be bulletproof. So they went through the records over and over, and sometimes people were double, triple counted, and they whittled it down to 6 million. Now, if you had an agenda to make the Holocaust look worse, you would have gone with the 18 million.
Okay, but
so have you ever reached out to the experts in the field?
Oh, okay. So the experts first said there were 18 million, and then the experts then said there were 6 million. So were they right when they said 18
But they
million?
wanted to be bulletproof.
Oh, so they wanted to. So now, because they said they're really, really sure, that means they're 100%. But first it was 18 million. That's triple the number. Now they're really sure that it was 6 million. Does that mean they're 100% sure?
No, but explain.
Could you tell who you are, what you do, and actually where you live as well?
I'm Matt Hancock. I'm the UK Secretary of State for Health and Social Care, and I'm also the proud shareholder of Genomics England, which is one of the most cutting-edge organisations for genome sequencing in the world. And we, in December, hit the target of 100,000 whole genome sequenced, and we have reiterated a new goal of reaching a million in the UK over the next 5 years. And the critical next phase will be to deliver that within clinical settings in a way that improves people's lives.
Carry a mask on them and wear that mask whenever they're outside of their home, but of course not when you're driving your vehicle. But obviously that means going to shopping centres, hospitals, aged care facilities, churches, everywhere else. This is our added protection at the moment until everyone gets their vaccine.
Chilla? Oh. Yo, Grandma, you ain't do this before. Stop it. You did this before, Grandma? Oh, see you in there. Go ahead, let me see you get in there. You can't get in there, Grandma. You ain't getting in there. With the flip flop. Oh! Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Grandma. Oh man. How you gonna do it? Come on. Ashley says he can do it. I want to see. Use that upper body. Use that upper body. Oh, she took the slippers off. Oh! Oh! See it now! Oh, see it now! See it now! Ah! She did it!
Hallo, what the fuck? Helft doch mal. Die hat einen Anfall, Digga.
Yardım edin lan ona. What the fuck?
Das ist der Teufel.
Ha siktir yardım edin amına koyayım.
What the fuck? Helft ihr doch mal, die hat einen Anfall, Digga. Ach du Scheiße. Oh.
Yardım edin ona.
Helft ihr doch mal.
Ha siktir amına koyayım. Hey, stabile Seitenlage. Und das im Livestream.
Die kotzt jetzt auf den Tisch, oder?
Amına koyayım lan. Ha siktir moruk.
Ich kann das gar nicht angucken, Alter. Die hat einen Anfall, Digga, die ist fertig. Oh. Psch, psch, psch.
Hey, bro, you know, you should really get tested, man. This virus is dangerous. You should really get tested, man. Seriously. What do you mean get tested? Is the virus that dangerous? Will I know I got it if I don't get tested? Well, no, you won't know if you've got it unless you get tested. It's the most dangerous virus this world's ever seen. That's why they've had to shut down all the businesses. But I won't know I've got it unless I get tested. Yeah, that's right, man. It's super dangerous, right? You need to get over there, get tested, do the right thing. Well, what about you? Have you been tested? No, yeah, I haven't. It came back positive. Were you okay? Oh, yeah, I was fine. I didn't feel anything. But, you know, positive case, had to stay home. Well, you said this thing's worse than the flu. Oh, yeah, it's way worse than the flu. I don't know about you. Last time I had the flu, I was in bed for 2 weeks. No. This is worse than the flu. Look, you won't know you've got it. But, you know, someone could catch it and get sick. All right, so let me get this right. I was debilitated in bed for 2 weeks with the flu. This is worse than the flu. But I won't even know I've got this unless I've got a test. Yeah, that's right. Do the right thing. Oh, well, that doesn't make any sense, but yeah, okay.
I am firmly on the side of womanhood now, but I am not a woman, nor will I ever be. 3 sentences later, I use the women's restroom because I am a woman. I changed my gender on my birth certificate to female because I am a woman. So there's a little confusion there, right?
Not for me. What's wrong with that?
Well, here it says I am not a woman. Here it says I am a woman.
Okay. That.
He might have needed a longer look. He might have read an old Schiffler's book. The truth will come with 10,000 miles in the saddle. He's seen a few good years between Creole's ears, and all he knows is the trail goes on and on. He's the only one I know, pure as the driven yayo, drifting past the ghosts of Mancha